Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm trying to quickly research something.
It's a problem, like it gives Twitch enough time to let me know that I'm live. Takes forever for it to do that.
Well, I'd love to know.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Anime4ALL
Hi,
podcast.
everybody! How are you today?
We are here with an Australian
it's
jock.
Picasso.
Apparently, Jock is taking on an Australian accent.
No, I
I
was just saying hi. I wasn't taking on an accent. I just wanted to say hi, but then I made it awkward because I asked how everybody was doing, and that kind of threw things off a little
scared
bit.
me.
No, I'm just saying that it threw things off when
No,
I
you
when I
legitimately made me jump. If there was a webcam on this, I would have jumped. You did that legitimately to the point where I wasn't expecting it, and I jumped because it was
I was just trying to do my thing. That's all. Why do you get to take everything so personally?
Did you really in your notes name episode 20 Jocko's Christmas?
That's the name of the episode.
I thought it was Chocolove's Christmas. What?
I took it off the episode list on Google when Google showed me the name of all the episodes. It said that was the name of the episode. You're ruining this whole thing. This is why nobody listens to your podcast.
I should try to confirm something real quick. I thought I saw Chocolove, but maybe that's his real name? These are things that we never get. That doesn't matter. Okay, we're here to review episodes of Shaman King's 19 and 20. These are specifically Chocolove is fight centric, which is good. We get a chance to see what he's capable of, and I was curious about the Jaguar, and we found out exactly what the Jaguar is for. He's a shaman who can integrate his entire body with his oversoul, which apparently is a high-level technique. Which means, obviously, Yo's going to do it, and he's going to do it better. I'm a little bit disappointed that this was going to happen later on. I had this strangest feeling. They introduce a new technique, and Yo's going to probably do it, and it's going to probably be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to start with episode 19. This is the continuation of what happened last time with them meeting Chocolove for the very first time. Okay, just mute that so that we don't get copyright infringement. The very beginning of the episode starts off with we pick back up with Manta meeting Faust, who is not Marco, by the way.
Faust is what? Where do you see that?
I said Faust is not Marco, by the way, because you thought he was Marco last time.
Oh, no. I got you.
This is interesting because apparently, I guess we learn later on that Faust does not have a team, and he's asking to join Yo, which is interesting, to say the least.
What was interesting? I'm sorry.
You got something you're looking up right now? I stop talking real quick where you can figure that out.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sorry. I just found something super interesting. I got distracted by it for a minute, but go ahead.
Okay, based on your notes here, as a summary, Wheelchair person singing about blood. Faust in love.
Is his name also Faust? I was having a tough time with
Yeah,
that.
his name is Faust. He's Faust. What's
This
V one and three in three eyes? Is that eight?
eight. Yeah,
He's 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 Faust the
V
eight.
represents 5, and then I is 1, 2, 3. So 5 plus 3.
He's Faust the eighth. Um, I guess you have you're a hard time remembering horror because you put blue hair.
Yeah, I forget him for all the time. I don't know why. He just blends in with the characters to me. Like there's nothing. He looks like someone from Naruto. He looks out of universe, and he doesn't have a lot going for him. He's just like the most mediocre character in the group. There's
I
very
like to point
little.
out that Naruto came out after this show years later, so I don't think there's
What?
any real. I don't think there's any real influence from Naruto from on his character design.
Okay, but he looks like he's from Naruto. Like he has like the Naruto art style, and he's just really doesn't look like he's particularly in universe, and he doesn't like.
I'm gonna just try to pillow this for anybody who's a fan of Naruto. He is not saying that he is not saying Naruto's trash. For someone who takes it out of context, somebody will. I'm just trying
Okay.
to get
Well,
that just trying to get someone to take that out of context.
the other characters seem like they have a role of some sort. Like the guy with the pompadour, like he is kind of a comic relief, stress relief, but he's also extremely on Yo's side, so he kind of glues the group together. Anna's Yo's wife, and she takes over, and she can be kind of a plot device when Yo's getting too far off track. Chocolove is like new, so we're still getting to know him. But like every character in there, one way or another, seems like they have a good role, like a good place in the group. But Horo doesn't really have a place. Like he doesn't have anything that stands out. He's not a rival. He's not a glue character. He's not like he doesn't have his own thing that makes him seem worth getting to know. Like he doesn't have a lot that stand out about his personality or anything. He's just really, really, really average, and he kind of blends in as a result of it. I don't really care about him.
I like to disagree with that. I think he's interesting. I mean, we don't. I watch a lot of anime, and I don't typically see characters who are like. If people probably argue with this with me, or like, I don't see typically characters like him that are that their main central focus is saving the Earth. Green Day, whatever. Not Green Day, but I guess the more derogatory term would be a tree hugger, but he's a very interesting character in that regard. That he has a grounded sense of like morality. He wants to save the Earth. He wants to save at least to save the Earth for the spirits.
Okay, but how often does it really come up? It's just like his like little dream, and they're all like talking about it, and they're like, "I want to go."
I mean, everybody has their little dream that no one really talks about that much. The only thing that really comes up is Shaman King, but I mean, other than that, it's just that.
Right. So I don't think his dream is like particularly incredible. Like it's save the Earth that doesn't. So as far as we can tell, it doesn't have any particular story enhancement to it or anything like that. Like the other ones, like you see, oh, that's what they want to do, and it builds into their character. And for him, saving the Earth is like, oh, okay, I guess he likes the planet.
I mean, he comes from a tribe of people that what type of spirit is Kokoro? I think is what his spirit's name. My name is spirit like they specifically they are like they want to they want to not cultivate, but they want to I guess cultivate the leaves and everything. He wants to keep the spirits around because apparently destroying their where they inhabit kills them or makes them move on. And he wants to be able to keep the tiny people that apparently his tribe worships, where they're currently living right now.
Yeah,
I think he's interesting in his own way. I mean, I know you don't find him interesting, but I think he's interesting in my opinion. I like his. He doesn't look like a Naruto character. I can see where he's coming from, but like I've seen like Naruto characters and they're a little bit more like well defined than he is.
Right, because he's really boring.
I like him. We're just gonna move on.
I'm sorry that you like him. I'm sorry that you have bad taste.
Like bad taste. I'm still really offended at Chocolove. I will never get over that name, and he almost became my least favorite character just because of his backstory. Because I found that almost racist. but we'll get to that in a minute.
That's the thing, though. I mean, Horohoro's not even like worth having as my least favorite character. He's just hard to remember.
Yeah, but I don't need your token black character to show that's just gonna bring up that he was in a gang, and then the main reason why he's the way he is because he was in a gang and he was brought over by a sensei character, which is really the only thing that saved it for me because like it just seemed overly racist. It seemed so stupid to have a black character in the show if they're just gonna have him his starting point was in a gang because his parents died. I hear that so often in real life.
No, they never do that theme with black people.
All I'm getting is I really didn't expect them to do it here because I remember people were really offended or something like that because they apparently censored him in the original. I can see why they censored him in the original. I don't think they really want to be telling little kids that if you get your parents killed, you're gonna end up in a gang that you're gonna treat like family and you're gonna be constantly angry every Christmas.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happened there. Is like he's essentially angry every Christmas. But really the sense of character is really the only thing that kind of saved it and how his progression went from that. So it didn't stay racist for long, in my eyes. But
yeah. He became Bruce Wayne. I thought that was a nice touch.
Well, Bruce Wayne about the money, but we're gonna keep on with episode 19.
He killed my parents on Christmas. I'm going to take an animal of the night and embody it. I need to find an animal of the night and make it my symbol.
Okay,
It's going to be black like me, like my soul.
Wow. Okay, moving on. Back to episode 19. I lost my train of thought and that entire just rant. Well, not rant, more like spastic sentence, but
I'm going to have a fundamental connection with somebody from my past who's a Joker.
I guess speaking of Anna, you bring up Anna in your notes here. I find it interesting as when she brings over the book to Silva, we see that apparently she didn't destroy the spirits that were guarding the book, she tamed them. I wasn't expecting this, which means that she's going to be important for something later.
I like that they were just sitting up in the stands with them, like watching the show. And,
well, I mean, they're her dogs now. This is what they are.
Yeah, it's pretty cute though.
Speaking of dogs, we're gonna right back to Faust, and apparently, I guess I didn't see Frankenstein in the first encounter, or he's new, but he has a dead dog, following him around.
He didn't look unfamiliar to me, but I can't remember specifically if I saw him or not.
He looked new to me because I don't remember if he was in the first encounter or not because I really don't remember. You would think you would remember a dead dog.
Well, there was so many skeletons in the first one.
Yeah, but the skeleton of a dog though is different than the skeleton of a human.
Yeah, but is the skeleton of a dog the Faust thing you're gonna see? What?
Don't pretend you didn't know what you were doing there.
I was just using words to talk with words.
Don't pretend you didn't know what you were doing there.
I will try not to pretend.
Continuing with the episode, we get a conversation between Silva and Anna there. I guess like talking about the book and everything. Then we flip over to, I guess, the start of the tournament. Well, not the start of the tournament, like when they move over to the tournament, typical tournament situation with the Coliseum. Which I was kind of shocked to see that we're going to have, like, grander battles than battles inside of a Coliseum. But I guess if they're going to have a tournament, this is probably the best way to do it. They also get a peek at Radim, who is... I was waiting for what Radim was going to be like, but I wasn't expecting him to become like a stereotypical an announcer who's just like a lot of energy for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was pretty cool. I mean, they also bring the fact that he's also weird, and I think they say that what's the name of the tribe again? Shoot. Like all the Native American there, they were all like they were all weird to them. Also, I
Okay.
guess we spend the entirety of the episode here. We'll also hearing the name Lyser. We also heard the last episode. But we got confirmation, and I had a feeling because I remember Lyser being inside of a an Exelal costume, but I wasn't sure. We got confirmation of that in the last episode, like the episode 20. We also get a chance to see the bracket, and I thought you were gonna like list here, but I guess not. I guess we can get a good look at this like tournament bracket to see who's fighting
Oh,
who.
I didn't really pause it. I'm sorry. I suppose I could have.
No, it's no problem at all. I probably should have written down myself, but they didn't say all the names on the thing either. We only got like Team Marin apparently up there.
Well, I saw Cowboys. I saw a couple other ones. They all seemed like they were just tribe names, and then you had Earthfire and stuff like that.
I guess it would make sense considering there's a lot of each group has a large amount of people in it.
Yeah.
We get Ryu having a breakdown because he has to fight Lyser. Like I don't know why he's shocked by this revelation.
I didn't understand that. Did he have some sort of bond with Leisner, or is he just sad that he's fighting his own like teammate, or what?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's still stuck in the fact that Lyser looks like a chick when in reality he's not.
Maybe.
I want to bring up too that apparently there's a bit of a time skip, not much, but between Yo and Anna training, and we see Anna wearing what I see is really interesting, like a beautiful kimono-like dress, and Yo's wearing another kimono. It's like dark purple. It's actually kind of odd. It seems kind of like almost out of place. Like where did he get those clothes from?
Mm-hmm.
I guess speaking of clothes, like Faust is in his original costume, and I'm wondering how he got dressed, considering he's in a wheelchair. I suspect he probably will be in a wheelchair for long.
Probably has his skeletons do it for him.
I say that makes sense.
He
But yeah,
probably
apparently,
just like acts like a giant hanger and holds the outfit like a mannequin and wanders around with it. And he's like, "I'll take that one," and then it gets down to its bones, so to speak, and then he dresses him.
okay, I want to bring him to Chocolove too. Apparently, his last name is McDonald.
Yeah.
What?
Why is that weird?
It's such a normal last name.
So, it could be Smith or Johnson or whatever.
But
What's
it's
wrong?
such a normal last name.
Do you think his name was always Chocolove?
I don't think so. But the problem is, like, I wish we could figure out, like, why can't we have his real first name, then Chocolove McDonald? Why is it just Chocolove McDonald? Like, I'm sorry. I'm moving on.
What?
I'm just moving on. Apparently his Jaguar is just named Mick, but I'm guessing they call him Mick Jaguar just to be funny. His spirit form's a little cute too.
Joko is his English name, which is probably why it's Joko's Christmas. His Romanized name is Chakarabu. So Chakarabu became Chocolove, but Chakarabu's not that crazy. Right?
I guess. I mean, I'm trying to move on from it. Like,
He was given the name Chocolove by his master. It wasn't his real name.
his master didn't get that. I mean, his gang was calling him Chocolove before he met him.
But according to the wiki, he was given the name by his master, Arona. So it's probably not canonical what they say in the anime.
Doesn't make any sense because they're supposed to be adapting straight from the manga.
I don't know what to tell you.
Moving on, we get skipping over to Radim here because Radim is doing his stereotypical, announcing the roles and whatnot, which there's a lot of roles. I don't remember them all. I do know is apparently he has a spiritual barrier, so you can't throw anything at him, which apparently that must happen a lot.
In the manga series, Chocolove met his mentor after killing a man. However, in the 2001 series, he met his mentor on a snowy night when he was in his youth. So the situation where he met him is different too. So he might have met him before, like, they start calling him Chocolove in the series.
All I know is they're adapting. There's this particular anime is supposed to be adapting from the manga. There aren't supposed to be any changes. So I mean, if there was a change from the original creator when he or she redid the story, I guess that makes sense. As for why they did that, I had no idea. Oh shoot, it's got a couple.
Says it was given the name Chocolove by his master Arona, and they actually have a citation, and they cite the manga volume 11, Shaman File 139.
I wish I had those volumes because all I have is volume 1.
It's in the extras in volume 11, so they verify exactly where you can find out in the manga. So I'm pretty sure it's true because they're citing that specific thing. They probably anticipated that somebody would be confused since it's not the same in the anime.
But this is supposed to be adapting from the current, from the actual, because this is an anime from 2001 where they changed a lot of stuff. The only reason maybe he changed his mind, I don't know. All I know, I'm hung up on this because I remember hearing years ago when they're even talking about doing another anime for the show. The mangaka said specifically he wasn't gonna allow it unless they took from his story. Then again, I mean, he has no real control over that. I mean, as long as the people.
But it's such a small detail.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, it's such a small detail. I think he's not like, he'd have to be pretty strict to make that an impossible detail to change. Anyway, go ahead with what you were saying about the shield he creates.
I was more I was like, I see the teams here. They got Team Moon. There's only a couple: Team Moon, Team Flower, Team Star, and then Team Earth.
Okay.
Well, we actually get a chance to see Team Earth. Actually, we get some names there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anything about a shield, but
Yeah, we definitely get a few of them. I just didn't think we had enough to really set up the whole bracket, so I didn't really try.
no problem. Just kind of combing through your notes right now to see if there's anything that. Ha! Vash, dude.
What?
No, sorry. You got Vash, dude.
Yeah. What did you think about the fact that the group was named Shaft? And then
I looked all that up to see that. I mean, I know you have the notes here, but I'm pretty sure. I think Chocolate is just a big old African American in New York reference. That's really what I think it is.
Yeah.
He's a comedian whose jokes aren't seen as funny by everybody. Only a select few find it funny, and he accidentally gets people to laugh a lot of times too, which actually happens later on in this thing.
Do you know the show Shaft that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm aware of the show. I never watched it, but I'm aware of the show.
I'm pretty sure that that's a reference to Shaft, because if you look at the characters that are from his past, like, they could easily all be Shaft characters, and some of them even have sort of passing resemblances to Shaft characters, especially when he's wearing that hat, like that hat that he wears, Chocolove wears at the beginning, the skull cap kind of looking thing. That's very Shafty, and the guy with the afro specifically looks a little bit like Shaft, one of the versions of Shaft and stuff like that, and the bald guy too kind of resembles one of the Shaft characters a little bit. So it makes me think that maybe they're sort of at least trying to make them look like they could be in universe to the Shaft universe, not necessarily one-to-one. They kind of fall within the idiom though, and Shaft is obviously something that you'd want to do, you know what I mean, if you were making any kind of references like that and you were Japanese and maybe a little out of touch with American culture anyway.
I just think he's just a big old African American a reference because he looks like a typical African American. But I don't know how I truly feel about that either. Like his character, I know a lot of people were upset that they changed a lot of stuff, and apparently this is supposed to be the true blue version of him. Though in the wiki, there's actually a difference here that is kind of funny. He has big lips. That's a stereotypical black thing, but here they chose to not do that.
I don't mind that, do you? They didn't do that.
Well, I mean, one of the problems people were having was because they censored him, and it looks like they censored him here again still. So I mean, I don't really care, but I don't know how that's gonna, how the people are gonna feel about that. The people who are aware of the manga and who know what he looks like in the manga.
Well, if you guys have an opinion, leave it in comments if you can, or tweet at Jeremy. But I think I'm okay with that. I think the only time like censorship went overboard from an anime to the US version that I was less than okay with was when they turned Popo into like a blue character so he wouldn't look so black. And I was like, all right, that's taking it a little bit far. I get why they did it.
I don't know if that's really taken that far or not, if I'm being honest. And this is from my perspective. I never saw Popo as an African American reference. So when people said that he was supposed to be, that's what he was supposed to be, I was actually kind of shocked because he didn't. I could see where they're coming from with that, big lips, black skin, but I just
that turning him blue was like a little too far. I was like, I don't think we needed to censor Popo and make him blue in some of the anime versions.
Well, he like that happened only after what's her name, Jinx from the Pokemon series when that happened, because she also had the same problem, and they turned her skin blue. But that's all different. That's in the video game universe. Still don't really know how I feel about that either, but oh whatever.
I remember thinking of Tar Baby when I saw Popo, which is a Native American thing. I'll send you a picture of Tar Baby so that you can see what I mean. But I could see how Tar Baby might have brought images of Popo up. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to screenshot it because they've got some sort of copyright protected stopping me from clicking on it proper. But this image that I'm going to share with you is a kind of a good example of what I meant. Hang on. I'll throw it in Discord now. This is what I immediately thought of when I thought of Popo. When I saw Popo, I immediately thought of Tar Baby. And I thought that was the reference for a little bit.
I could see that being looking like, but that's. I don't even think that's racist. That's just creepy looking.
And Tar Baby was. I think Tar Baby was like borderline racist when it showed up in Aesop's Fables. So I could kind of I saw the discomfort of it, but I just thought, oh, it looks like the Japanese didn't understand Tar Baby, but wanted to draw something that looked like it.
I guess keeping on the segue of racism, I'm not sure how this is related to racism, but we get a chance to see Jaco's abilities, especially when he's using Jaguar. And we do see Shaft, and it's kind of funny that the word Shaft all have the Jaguar pelt on it.
Well, there's Black Panther in the
yeah, I'm aware.
So. But
Panthers don't have. No, I'm not gonna get into that. I mean, I'm aware. I was making a connection.
The Black Jaguar. They call him the Black Jaguar, and there's something called Black Panther.
Yeah, but Black Panther isn't an American. He's a. Well, in real world, he would be an African American, which is what they usually refer to him in Marvel Universe. But he's a Wakandan in Marvel Universe. But so I can see the correlation, and I was making a correlation the entire episode. But part of me was still fighting. It was like, there's no way, because I don't even think Black Panther was ever in New York City. I don't even know. I mean, I'm being nitpicky there, but I find it kind of cool that I didn't really pick up on this until I think a second episode when we saw his oversoul. When he's integrated with the Panther and giving him control over his limbs, you can see out of the big spiritual energy, there's not tiny, but skinny animal legs coming out of it, and he's using those to keep his balance. It's actually really cool looking. It's actually a really cool looking ability he's got there. I was really rooting for him to win this fight, but unfortunately, because he's not Yo, he's not going to win the fight, or Ren, for that matter. Couldn't let this guy.
Why is he not going to win the fight?
Because he's not the main character. I wish he could have won that fight. I think he could have easily won that fight if it wasn't for the fact that he was not the main character.
I think he, for all intents and purposes, won the fight. He disabled his enemy. He just knocked himself out in the process. All they had to do was bump him out of the ring. They didn't even use any power. They just literally hit him with a stick, and the guy was knocked out. Considering it was 1 versus 3, he either defeated or neutralized all 3. Did it on his terms of not having to kill anybody. He could have killed them probably in one and more easy way, but he wanted to hold by his principles. I would say it's a victory in every way except that final shot. I don't think he lost.
That shot of him, he's actually holding the power of his Jaguar is really cool looking. It kind of looks like a Super Saiyan thing with the yellow claws.
Oh, it looks like Black Panther.
No, he doesn't like Black Panther.
It looks like Black Panther. Black Panther does the same thing with his claws.
What about his I have not seen the Black Panther use anything like he's got claws definitely on his suit, but like what he's doing right here that is not what the Black Panther does. He doesn't have any actual like superpowers. Yeah, actually he's just a suit, but he doesn't have any actual powers.
Black Panther?
Yes.
The Black Panther does not have any superpowers?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. That suit's the only thing that's giving him endurance. I don't think he actually has super strength.
Untrue.
His adamantine claws are on the suit. They're nothing. He can't.
First of all, those claws are probably vibranium, not adamantium, since
Sorry.
the rest of the suit is made out of vibranium. Second of all, have you watched the movie?
Yeah, I watched the movie, but they had no powers. That was all the suit.
He wasn't born with powers, but it's not all the suit. He had the herb that he took that gave him additional powers.
What?
Remember, he drank the herb and he drained his powers, the Black Panther powers, to go in the fight to see who would be the next Black Panther. And then the winner had the herbs. There's the whole theme. That herb was like one of the whole themes of the story, that like the guy had the herb destroyed, and then they saved one and they gave it to the Black Panther later and gave him back his powers. Now we have 2 Black Panthers with the powers, and they're duking it out at the end. He had enhanced everything, like physical attributes were enhanced. And then the suit he had as well, but there were 2 things that were his power, as well as himself and his mind and his character and everything else.
What's this? T'Challa?
T'Challa, yeah. There was the herb that gave him his powers too. He had enhanced strength and everything. And he also had connection with Jaguar spirits. You need to go watch that movie again, my friend.
I don't even remember. Now I'm thinking about the spirit of the Panther, but I don't think that guy. When I could tell, it didn't seem to affect any of his abilities because this was the suit. His sister literally gave him a suit.
Yeah, he had a suit that helped, but he also had enhanced abilities of his own.
Why can't I?
That he got from the herb. It was one part shamanism, magic, or whatever you want to call it, where he was connected with his ancestors and everything else, and then there was one part.
Well, my point is, it was not doing what it was doing in the Shaman King world. He was not like wielding the literal spirit.
No, but it was definitely the reference. They called him the Black Jaguar, Jeremy. I don't know how much.
I think that has something to do because he's black. I guess that's the only reason I think they call it the Black Jaguar.
As opposed to the Black Panther.
I wouldn't say a part of that is also because he's black, but I know where you're going. But it's like, I feel like with him, it wasn't. I mean, you can there's some similarities there, but I still think it has a lot to do with the fact that he's a black character.
If you say so.
I could be wrong about that though, but
if
like,
so.
Bass is the name of the Panther god. I'm literally trying to find. Why can't I'm trying to look up Black Panther T'Challa, but I'm not getting what I need. Find the knowledge, strength, and every experience of every previous Black Panther. Superhuman strength, endurance, speed, agility, reflexes, stamina, senses. Okay. Well, they're not enhanced to the point where I thought like actual super strength would be.
Basically,
Because I was thinking, I was
definitely-
comparing him to the not black. Dang it, I was comparing him to like Tony Stark.
You're telling me that he wasn't. You're telling me that the author didn't have Black Panther in mind, and yet when they do his origin story, he looks at a Captain America doll around 7:30 in the second episode that we're reviewing, which is episode Shaman King 20. Around 7:30 of Shaman King 20, they open up a present, and it's like a little Captain American doll, and he's watching through a window. And then shortly after that, he becomes the Black, not Panther. Hang on. I'll send you a screenshot because it's actually a little bit before 7:30. It's like 7:01.
That's not a Captain America. That's a robot. That just happens to be yellow, blue, and red.
It's red, white, and blue. The wrapping was yellow.
No, those are those dots on his body are yellow.
Okay, but they're almost white. He has the Captain American thing going on his head.
Those are horns and not the wings.
Oh my god, I know, because they don't want to get copyright strike, basically, but...
No, I'm like, I
it's
don't
something
think
that-
that's supposed to be a reference to Captain America, is what I'm getting at.
Look at the thing on his arm. Look how it almost looks like a shield instead of its arm.
That's a
Look at the
shoulder.
helmet. I know, but it almost looks like a shield.
No, I don't know where you're getting the shield from. I really don't. I'm actually legitimately don't. I don't see it. I legitimately don't see it.
Very silly man, Jeremy.
I don't see. Hold on, let me look at get Captain America's. Like I'm telling you, I don't see it. I legitimately don't see it. You can make an argument for the Black Panther thing, but you can't make an argument for Captain America there.
That's how he holds the shield on his arm.
That's his shoulder. And I don't think
I know it's
on
his
top of
shoulder.
that, like shield on Captain America is on his back, and
Okay.
when he's wielding it, it's never on his shoulder. It's always on his like covering up his lower arm. It's never that high up on him.
Captain America wears it on his shoulder sometimes, like very close to his shoulder. It has an inner blue ring and a white thing in the middle. In the case of the literal one, a star.
I'm looking at images right here. I've never seen him wield it on his shoulder. That doesn't make any sense.
Blue circular, excuse me, sir, a blue circular shape in the middle with a white shape in the middle of that, sort of not literally a star, but a whitish shape with a red ring around the edge. Is it red and white? No, but to me it's a very clear callback to Captain America. They're just trying to avoid copyright stuff.
I like the point that Captain America doesn't have any actual wings on or nothing protruding his helmet. It's like just a straight helmet with stripes like that are on a part of the design, but they're never like protruding. They're never. It's not like an actual like. And actually, is there any other like? Is there any comic? Yeah, there's some comic versions of it that have that.
Yeah, there is definitely some comic versions. In fact, the Halloween costumes and stuff like that have a little protrusion.
I can't look at any of this stuff because Google Chrome doesn't support it. But I still don't see, like, I legitimately do not see, like, the colors are the only thing that I'm sitting there saying that, like, I highly doubt that was, I'm pretty sure that was, like, what's the word, coincidental.
Do a Google search for Captain America Classic, or look at the picture I'm about to send you in Discord. You'll see the wings are pretty prominent on his head. Are they horns? No, because they're not trying to get him like into a copyright.
Does it look like a robot? Because I'm seriously that I highly doubt if they were gonna try to do a knockoff version, he would not be a robot. He would actually be a doll.
Well, they might be doing
that is a robot.
They might be doing the robot version to like build in like something else, like an Iron Man reference mixed into it or something like that. But like, I think really they're just trying to like take a little warped version of step away from it so that you don't think of it too much.
I don't think he. I'm legitimately fighting you on this because I do not think that. I can see resemblances in color with the color scheme, but other than that, like I legitimately, if this thing had been more human looking, which it doesn't look that close to a human like a skull system. It looks like a freaking toy.
Mm-hmm.
I am legitimately. I will agree with you on the Black Panther thing, but this one I will not.
Look at this version. Well, that's a really shitty version. Never mind. Sometimes the shield is really big on him. Like sometimes it takes.
Yeah, but
up,
he's not
like,
putting it on his shoulder. That's not even physically possible. Like I don't think the ring on the thing is even able to for him to be able to wear like a gauntlet.
And but sometimes he wears it real tight on his shoulder, and
Look
it's
at the.
really big compared to his body in some artistic impressions.
That's not on his shoulder. I can tell where the artist was drawing that they put that shield on his wrist.
Oh yeah. Well, why don't you just, Mr. Smarty Pants? Why don't you just look at this version of Captain America and tell me it doesn't look like it?
That's a Lego, and he's holding it with his hand. I can't believe he tried doing that. He really wants to sell me on this, and that's not working. Like that right there, that is a Lego, and he is holding it with his hand. I'm giving you the color, but I highly doubt. Because another thing too is like it doesn't make any sense if we're gonna use like they use Captain America. 'Cause I think Captain America and him don't like each other anyway. It seems so weird to use that. Now, granted, he's also very upset with the kid in there, so I guess they could also make the correlation. But I still don't think he was trying to make Captain America.
And Captain America is
He's also holding it in his hand there. You're not making a point here. All you're doing is just pulling images of like deformed things now.
Yeah, I really am. But anyway, I saw that and at a glance thought, without getting too deep into it, at a glance when I saw that, I thought Captain America, because of the basic color scheme, the little things on the head, the fact that the arms, I knew they were arms, but they kind of looked like shields to me, and the sort of like the top half of the shield sort of had a pattern that wasn't unlike Captain America's. I looked at that and thought Captain America, and then shortly after that, they introduced him as not Panther. What is it? Black
Jaguar.
Black Jaguar, and it just and I mean Black Jaguar in New York when it could be Black Panther anyway. It just seems like way too much of a nod to Black Panther for me to completely ignore that.
The reason why it's a jaguar because they're saying that jaguars are noble creatures. That's the only real reason that there's a jaguar here.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the other reason is because they can't use Black Panther because it's already been taken.
No, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have stopped them. Because the point of the jaguar here is those noble creature that could see and hear all, which is another thing they use here is that he's letting him take control over his body, so he can move around really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out too his jokes. Apparently, you would think they were like mistranslations. I don't think that was the case. They were just like really bad puns on the English language. That's really all they were, and I picked up on that last week, but I didn't say anything mainly because I wanted to see if they were ever going to explain that here. As I guess explanations before I let you speak. They do actually explain Manta does actually end up in the bed after looking at the Great Spirit, so I'm actually kind of glad they explained that because I thought it was also really weird that he looked at it and nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
So they do explain that something happened to him. I was like, okay, well that makes sense. Thank you for an explanation because I was concerned. That seemed like a plot hole. But continue.
No, I forget what I was gonna say. Oh, I think that it was probably a bad pun to begin with, and then they had to write something in there that was close to translation, so they kind of they did their best, but it wasn't even the original writer anymore.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the original writer because this isn't the first time I've seen this type of like joke used. The Japanese, like I said before, Japanese jokes just don't translate over to American jokes so well, and also they find other things funny. Because a lot of their words in Japanese also could be translated to sounds, and sometimes they'll play around with the idea of a automatopoeia. A lot of times we saw that within My Hero Academia with that comic dude. He was a huge Japanese joke. I still didn't get, but I knew it was a Japanese joke.
What's the difference between them not translating well and them just not being funny in English?
Not much of a difference between there because it just depends on what context the humor is in. That's why American jokes don't translate over to Japanese all that well because it's all about.
I think you're being kind of contrary. I think we could agree that in English the jokes aren't very funny.
They don't translate to English all that well. I mean, it's all about situation. There's a reason. There's a.
Translate well. It would look like maybe it would not a great translation of it.
No, because they never could translate well. Like
Exactly.
a great translation means that they could have translated over it. What I mean is that no Americans wouldn't get it.
Oh my god. Okay.
You didn't get that joke at all, right? I mean, my point's still proven. Americans wouldn't have gotten it. I'm not saying I got it either. I'm just saying that I feel like that's all it really was the play. Because like even on this scene where his teacher, you see the Japanese kanji up there. They're pointing out a section of it, and he's making a joke on it.
Yes, sir.
I think he says "chi" is blood, and he was just making a joke about blood. He was more of a comic gag than anything else. Honestly, all Chocolove really is just a gangster turned comedian.
Do we have any new subscribers this week?
I didn't post the episode until today, so we won't know anything until next week.
And you didn't look at the analytics this time because I scared you in the intro.
No, because I just uploaded the episode. There wouldn't be any analytics to show.
Oh.
I can go in there real quick to see, but I highly doubt anything changed because I literally just uploaded it tonight.
So then what happens in the show?
Wait, why do you sound drunk and tired?
Trying to derail you. You're on a rant. Just brought up something unrelated for a second to get you off your rail. So they flash back. They have the thing that's clearly a Captain America gift, and he sees it after the police car gift. Where were we in this? You're meeting the traveling comedian, right?
He's meeting the traveling comedian, and he's trying to get him to laugh, because his dream is to. Well, I guess his dream is to spread laughter around the world, and apparently see that he's also a shaman, which makes sense. And he's also a pretty fast shaman, even though he's like an old man. We also find out he's apparently an Amazon Native American.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's up with the show and like dark skinned characters being Native Americans, but they really like to stick to that. So I think the only character he is in Native American is Chocolove, unless it gets revealed later on that he is. I had no idea. But Chocolove being bald is really disturbing. I can't stop staring at his bald head. But essentially, the backstory is essentially he lost his parents on Christmas, and every Christmas he joined a gang afterwards because he was bouncing from orphanage to orphanage. He found the group called Shaft, the group that he's a part of. Essentially, he ends up meeting a roaming comedian shaman who pretty much teaches him his shaman ways because he can see Mick Jaguar. Apparently, not many people could see it, which makes sense. But when he saw him, he saw him and he's like, I'm gonna teach you my shaman ways to pass on the spirit. Essentially, I mean, it's like a typical New York thing. He ends up leaving the gang. The gang comes back to find him, and ends up killing his master. And as a tribute to him, he's gonna essentially become Shaman King to spread laughter around the world, so he can change the world. So that way, I guess not many people have his same his tragic backstory, quote unquote.
So then they beat up the old man. You know, I wanted to talk about something here. You know how he was saying that laughter is a wind?
Mm-hmm.
I found this literary digest. I wanted to see what laughter is a wind meant. I found this literary digest from Funkin' Wagnalls, which is a major publishing company, from July to December of 1914. And it sounds like such a reach, doesn't it, to say that? But the article in it that was read was called "Weathering Gales of Laughter," and I don't know how much of this you want me to read, but they talk about. They quote John Bunny, of all people, of the Vitagraph Film Company, had this philosophy that he published in another book called Photoplay, and this is the quote that he said. Laughter is the solution of life. Laughter is life. Laughter daily makes it possible to go on. There is only one delight that's keener than that of a joke, a comment, or a gesture at which you spontaneously laugh, and that is the delight of making other people, a whole crowd of people, laugh with you. Making other people laugh is the greatest game of the world, and we are all playing it. Some of us are professionals, most of us are amateurs, that is all. We all like tears, I suppose, or we would not shed them so easily. But what is good of tears unless it is to increase our delight in laughter? And at the end of that episode, you see him crying as he's laughing at the same time and talking about what he's going to do. But he literally says, I'm trying to find it now. He literally says laughter is a wind. Yeah, in the next paragraph. If the tragic spirit is always hovering over us, always the comic spirit is just around the corner. For the comic spirit, what is the spirit of the laughter, is a rough and ready and everyday sort. It's above us or beneath us. It is of us. Laughter is a wind. Sadness is a cloud. The wind of laughter and nothing else may dispel the cloud of sadness. What better job in a life could a man hope for than to be a wind of laughter? None, unless to be a gale of laughter blowing around the world. Isn't that uncannily similar to what we watched that guy's philosophy be?
I mean, yeah, but I think it's just a coincidence.
So it does sound like it might be just a coincidence, but I also found this in a Chinese encyclopedia, and it says, he laughs so freely, how comfortable. Laughter is a wind that drives away the gloom, as if this smile makes the world peaceful. And then it goes on to compare grief with a cloud. And it started making me realize that, like, there was like that Chinese one, and then there's that other essay. Both of them are fairly old things, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was that laughter is a wind thing that I just read was a Chinese idiom, and I'm guessing that it goes back a ways if that guy's probably referencing the Chinese idiom in 1914 and then kind of building on it. But I'm sure that what happened there is he was quoting the Chinese idiom that I found in that other dictionary. It's slightly like obscure. Like I had a tough time finding it with that exact phrasing. Laughter is a wind. But if it's Chinese idiom, then there's probably other ways that it's been translated as well. But it seems unusual for like such weird wording to come up three different places and be fairly easy to access in those three places. And all of them talk about laughter as a wind that blows away grief, not just laughter as a wind that comes from deep inside or something like that, but laughter as a wind that's specifically something that drives away gloom.
I get you. I mean, I guess to combine it with this episode, I mean, essentially what he just read is summing up his philosophy really well, which is odd. But yeah, like I mean, he as you can tell, his goal is to save the world through laughter, which is something that a lot of people. I mean, it's not uncommon to want to do that kind of thing, you know, like share a laugh can save somebody from committing suicide, or it's an interesting and almost dark thing to think about. In this situation, you know, it's a comedian who wants to just, you know, make everybody laugh, even if he's not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems to be one thing that's common with these two, is the fact they're both not good at it. His protege, however, does it accidentally in the middle of his fight with his final attack. from bringing together bringing up like a copy of the Belly Button of the World. I forgot the name of it.
I didn't put it in my notes. I thought I put that in my notes. I'm sorry if I didn't.
I'm watching it here. We'll get to that point, but his mentor essentially, is
Called it the gag wind.
Hmm?
He called it the gag wind.
I don't think it was Gagwind. I think he named it something else. I think it was like Axis or something like that. I forgot what it was.
That was like what he was. Ayers Rock, Oversoul Ayers Rock, is what he was leashing, but he called it a gag wind too. So I wasn't clear on whether he was talking about Oversoul Ayers Rock, Ayers Rock, or if he was referring to the gag wind that will bury them with laughter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem. Actually, speaking, I guess we brought up everything, but like the other elephant in the room. That the guy they're fighting, Peyote. At first I thought he was supposed to be a reference just to the peyote drug that is illegal over in Mexico, but I'm pretty sure he's that. But also, I mean, I'm gonna butcher this. Let me just look at the Day of the Dead real quick. I want to actually pronounce this correctly. Let's see here. Day of the Dead. The Spanish is Dia de Muertos. I'm butchering this. I'm sorry. Dia de Muertos or Dia de los Muertos. I took Spanish for 2 years, and I know I should be able to pronounce this better, but I'm not able to. I haven't used it in years.
Dia de los Muertos.
Well, there's two different pronunciations here, and De Los is in one of them. But okay, but
I took 2 years of Spanish in college, and then also in high school.
I just took it 2 years in high school. I didn't. Unfortunately, my second year of Spanish kind of got cut short because the teacher decided to get her eyes done. Never saw her again. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. One of the attack. I guess we'll before we get to that, because we could talk a little bit about like about the peyote guy. Not much to say here about his backstory. I kind of just summed it up everything. You'll get a chance to see his, I guess, gag wind in his backstory a little bit, and it looks like Super Saiyan to an extent with the lightning. It kind of looks like something that Vegeta does. Like I think not the Big Bang, but there's one of those attacks that he did. Essentially, he's using all his Furyoku to bury them in laughter, apparently, and he does an attack. What's it called? Axis something? Shoot. Axis something shoot. Yep, that's what we're gonna call it.
Are you talking about the Rock again? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Rock. No, I'm getting it. Oversoul Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
Ayers Rock, yeah. I guess it's like some famous. I'm not sure where this place is, but it's an actual place. I'm aware of it. And whereas it gets everybody, he causes all the spirits on the Hispanic dude to lose control. The navel of the world. Actually, where is that? It's kind of weird he named the attack that.
Ayers Rock is a large sandstone formation in the southern part of Northern Territory in Australia, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's where it is. But it's sacred to the Aboriginal people there, so I mean, there's at least that Native American reference. But wasn't the guy Native American? I'm sorry.
Yeah, his teacher was Native American, an Amazon Native American, but he was a Native American.
Well, stupid as hell for us to call someone from Australia Native American, but they were Aboriginal people, and that's where they were. So he's learning something that was sacred to that guy's homeland, as opposed to Native Americans, the Aboriginal people of that part of Australia. But yeah, it's the Ayers Rock is a sacred thing there. It's one of Australia's most recognizable natural landmarks, and it's been a tourist site for a long time.
At least now we know it's in Australia. But he essentially does an attack mimicking Ayers Rock, and he wants to make people laugh, but unfortunately, they're not laughing at his attack. They're laughing at his belly button that apparently has a handmade kangaroo figurine in it. So that's why his belly button's poking out.
Yeah. Well, the kangaroo would be another Australian reference, obviously.
That's also true. He loses control over it, and pretty much he loses all his Furioka and he ends up falling, giving Ren the necessary time to come in and have a Basson punch to the face happen, and they essentially win that fight. But I just want to go back real quick because we didn't talk about peyote here. Specifically his entire facade is like Hispanic in origin, and his attacks are all based on the Day of the Dead. Specifically, that he messes with Day of the Dead being they believe to be when all the spirits of the dead come back. Like specifically, so I'm not talking out my butt. Day of the Dead is a holiday celebrated on the 1st and 2nd of November. It originated and is mostly observed in Mexico or Mexico, but also in other places, especially by the people of Mexican heritage elsewhere. Although associated with the Catholic celebrations of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, it has a much less solemn tone and is portrayed as a holiday of joyful celebration rather than mourning. The multi-day holiday involves family and friends gathering to pay respects and to remember friends and family members who all died. Uh, in the anime, they're saying that this is like the day when all the spirits come back to meet with people. I guess that they've long since haven't seen, and this guy ends up playing with the spirits because he's a shaman, and this would be the perfect day for him to gather his minion squad, who he has been forcing. He's been using his his, uh his comrades as mediums for his spirits, at least two of them, and he has like these little dolls that over here are calaveras, and it's an actual thing. It's apparently a symbol for that holiday. Uh, they call it mask, and the name calaveras or calicas is a colloquial term for a skeleton. And
Yeah,
apparently these things are made out of sugar.
Out of a skeleton, but it was popularized in like the 60s, I think, to make dolls out of them. And the fancier the outfits, the happier they are, or something like that. Like it's so the fact that one of them's smoking and looks like kind of an older guy, like classy older guy, is like actually like an exaggeration of that joke. But ironically, they can be made out of a lot of different materials, including sugar, wood, and even chocolate. So
Yeah, I feel like all this was just like made on purpose, but still, I find it kind of funny that these things are made out of. These are edible, from the sounds of it.
oh no, they can be made out of wood. A lot of them are made out of sugar, though.
Yeah, that means they're still edible. Well, not the woods, but I mean the things made out of sugar.
Yeah, but we know that they're probably made out of bones in some point, or you wouldn't be able to control them.
Well, I mean in that world probably, but I mean the real world they're made out of sugar. It means these things are you can eat them,
Right.
which is funny. But yeah, this entire holiday, a lot of the things are like a lot of like the symbols in this thing are all skeletons, which is interesting that his whole motif there's a lot of skeletons, and he's also Faust compared him to himself that he's a bone user, which I guess is what they call bone users. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of cool that we get a chance to see another, I guess, necromancer. I guess the actual term that he is, but I guess um, a much weaker necromancer based on what we see here, with a Ren just taking him out with one punch.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but I mean, the guy was exhausted and staggered, and
No, I don't think he was exhausted.
he'd used up his power. Like his power had been taken from him. He'd like severed his connection with his abilities, basically. So when the guy comes in, like he's fresh, and the other guy is like has no connection to his power. It was
No, according
incredible.
to what I was reading, he said he still had his Furioka, just that he couldn't control the spirits because they were laughing so hard.
Right, he'd severed his connection to his power. Like he couldn't do anything with them.
I guess that's correct. But well, I guess that is correct. But I guess another thing too, you bring up the fact that apparently, I guess looking at the Great Spirit, if you have Furioka, can boost your power because apparently they're saying that Ren's Furioka shouldn't have been higher than 1,000, but it's 5,152. I think it's the
Mhm.
number. So I'm guessing that looking at the spirit, if depending on how long you're out, or if you're out at all, can boost your Furioka in. So I guess it's very useful to actually come here if you're a shaman.
Or maybe Ren just started getting more connection with his past lives because he's one of many past lives, so he could have kind of reconnected with his true self or something like that and gotten a little bit more of his abilities unlocked as a result.
Okay, I kind of have to detract on something real quick. I had a second look at the weapons that Chocolove was using, and I legitimately had a flashback to the necklace that Black Panther was wearing.
Gee, really? Okay, but it doesn't have anything to do with Black Panther, not even with the necklace.
Now I'm fighting you on the Captain America robot that that has no connection.
If you say so.
I will die on that hill. But
Yeah.
pretty much that's the end of the episode. We see that
I thought it was a rock. I thought Ayers Rock was a rock.
dang it, Jock. As we get to the end of this episode, we see Chocolove's old master spirit watching over him, which is I guess makes sense. Definitely means nothing in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But we also see that the people that Chocolove used to hang out with in that gang all defected from the gang and are now part of his tribe. They still can't see spirits, but it's kind of cool that that connection was made. Ren also calls out Yod in a fight, which is obvious. Why wouldn't he? He's the
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta. He's the Vegeta series. We also get a chance to see Ren's parents and his sister embarrass him. I love that he could actually still be embarrassed after all this time.
I guess so.
You don't find it funny?
Yeah, it's fine.
You got a problem with it?
No, I don't have a problem with it.
You sure? It's
Why
like
do
you
you
have a
pick a
problem with
fight
it.
about it? Why do you want to fight about it?
I don't know if I about anything. I'm just asking.
You're so confrontational.
Dang, okay, as we end this episode off here with episode 20, um, we got. Well, I mean, we already knew that Lobster was going to defect. I'm just surprised they decided to do it as early.
Hey, homework assignment for next episode. Something I didn't have time to look up. I was curious about the factories that were on this Japanese island that they're going to. And since so much of the stuff in this series is like a reference to something historical or cultural, I was wondering if an unnamed with remnants of factories on it was significant in some historical reference reason. And I forgot to look it up in between watching them and talking with you. But it seems like a really fun little rabbit hole to jump down, and I bet there's something down there.
How about this? You jump down that rabbit hole, and next time you talk about it.
Oh, I see how it is. I'll do all the work.
I don't even know where to start to even. I mean, if there was anything, because I don't even know the name of the island. First of all, unless you do.
I don't. I was wondering initially. My curiosity was if it was guano, because what happens is guano, from either bats or birds, was mined a lot in the late 1800s, early 1900s for as a fertilizer, as a rich soil for plants and things like that. The birds would land on islands over hundreds of years. They would the feces that would drop would create rich soil on an island that would otherwise just be a patch of sand. And then the island would be able to support plants and things like that as they showed up, and eventually life if it found its way over there. It might just be birds and turtles and stuff like that, but it would support something. And but they didn't have factories. They had ways of processing it, but usually they just kind of dig it up and load it onto a boat and process it elsewhere. But it was interesting that they had factories there, and the only other thing I could think of is the Japanese myths have a lot of stuff that has to do with ironworks, but they wouldn't just casually mention those on there. I'm sure that those factories are going to become a location of something at some point. you know what I mean, in this, like either they're going to use them for a test or something like that, but you don't just casually go, oh yeah, there's a lot of factories on this island. So it was either a reference to something to give people that knew Japanese culture like an idea of what the island was about at one point, or it was something else. But I just thought it was like really odd that they just casually threw in there that the factory was the location of something. So I didn't get time to look it up, but I'm really curious what that means.
I mean, judging from the fact that the Patch tribe, that's the name of their, judging from the fact that the Patch tribe or trying to make money, and Native Americans are typically, like in the derogatory sense, are typically seen as greedy money grubbers who own casinos out in the West in the United States. I'm pretty sure it's all that really was. Maybe they were doing something out here, judging from the fact that that lady.
Japan, it's not like a Native American owned property.
I mean, who's to say there weren't Native Americans out there? Maybe they were known by something else. I mean, like the Horo, for instance, the people, the Native Americans, quote unquote, because technically speaking, the people that he's from are technically Indians. Well, not Indians, but Native American. But well, not Native American. You know what I mean. But
Mm-hmm.
that like the AO, the Ainos or whatever they call them, like they were seen as like indigenous people who lived out there. He is a part of that tribe. I'm pretty sure, like, not the Patch tribe, but I'm pretty sure maybe there's another tribe out there, because it seems kind of unrealistic to think that they were just the only tribe out there. Even given how big they are, you think there'd be some other tribes out there, and we haven't seen them. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some of them, because there's some pieces missing, such as like why Hal suddenly changed when he went to see the Great Spirit. Like why Yo is still convinced that he can change him or whatever. There's like a lot of things that I guess pieces that are missing. Even if the set piece of there being factories does come back, I mean, it probably be nothing more than a place to fight. It probably won't really mean much of anything. Typically, places like that, if there are factories, you'll see them fight through them, but that's about it. You don't really get any historical significance unless you dig on the internet yourself. But they probably won't give any historical significance inside the series.
Well, I don't know. They've made.
These are things we had to find out ourselves, though. Like the things we found out, they've never really, it never really meant too much of anything, except for maybe Faust. I'm pretty sure Faust is probably the only thing they actually made a big deal about in terms of like historical significance.
Well, there was like, for example, there was Hashima Island, which was once a mecca for undersea coal mining, and they have abandoned factories on that. So it could have been used for undersea coal mining or something like that, and been sort of a reference to something like that. Same with Mitsubishi Island, which was a bustling coal mining metropolis that's now abandoned and had factories on that. So it could be that they're referencing undersea coal mining or coal mining in general on the island.
I guess like I'm just taking it as like, you know, we've been kind of been ignoring like some of the elephants in the room with the Patch tribe. For whatever reason, wherever they are, they're trying to make money, and it seems odd to me that they own this giant jumbo jet, which actually is oversold, but we're not gonna get to that. There's a lot of things for a Native American tribe that they own that seems odd and out of place. Like they seem to be able to they're financially able to cut off a part of like a piece of land that's a part of a tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of things that are really odd to me. Um, I mean, how being able to control where he's able to be reincarnated is kind of explained already, but it's like there's like some things that are missing that I don't really know. I mean, I think last Circ defecting is the last thing I do 100% know. I could be wrong though. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna know anything else from here on out, because something could easily show up in the anime and oh, that's right, I do remember that happening. Because I did watch the original anime for this before the reboot happened. So, but though I remember that anime ending on a cliffhanger, so I don't really know what truly was going on. Because I don't really remember what House thing is. if he has have a thing. But I guess I'm kind of rambling. I didn't watch the previews for next episode, so I don't know what's gonna happen there, and I'm probably gonna keep it that way. Uh, Anything else in your notes that we didn't talk about?
No, that was it. And I think I'm going to go with that about the coal mine. I'm looking forward to seeing if the coal mining is what they're going to reference, like on the island, if it's going to be an abandoned coal mining place. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, like if that's the case. But like that was my thing, because it makes the most sense. It's an abandoned island off of Japan that has abandoned factories on it, and that's the exact same deal. So let's see if that turns out to be it. But I'm sure it's going to factor in somehow. And the next episode is Iron Maiden genes, so we're going to have to see what that means, but I have no idea right now, so that's what we got to look forward to.
I'm still no. It's just a set piece that they're gonna probably fight through, and that's it. It's not gonna really mean anything. But I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows? I just feel like that's just gonna be a set piece. I mean, they'll probably say something interesting about the island, but they're probably just gonna destroy it. The fact that it's an island out there that the patch can get to really easily, and also have a helicopter, there's like a lot going on. That doesn't really make much sense in terms of like, I mean, I'm not saying that they can't make money, but it just seems they have a lot of money for an off the grid tribe. It just seems it seems really weird. Liliana, the one they killed, seems like the only one I'll say, like, she's probably the only one of the tribe that I can trust. Because, I mean, Anna brings up the fact that, like, what is Silva's end game? For whatever reason, he's been really helpful to Yo, and there's no real reason for him to be that helpful. Even if he is in Yo's corner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll find out. I guess we'll find that out. I guess we're going to end that off here. We're going to come back next week for the... Wait. Yeah, we're gonna come back next week for the podcast. I thought I'd check to see if you had anything. I guess if anything there was a holiday, but I think you're already good for Halloween. So we're just gonna move on from there. See you guys next time. Bye.